maybe we'll get more color on this for Open Mic Friday, but I was remiss in not mentioning you hanging out with Jody Davis, the king of Wrigley Field.
Yes. I was in a scramble to raise money for ALS for Mongo.
Oh, nice.
Out at Cog Hill. There were 500 golfers there.
Oh, my God.
But the Mongo people, we were on this side of the tracks, and the pretty people were and Dubs. But we were on the course 1 and 3.
Well, yeah, you're not getting Dubs for a scramble unless you're...
Well, it's big money. They raise a lot of money. There are 500 golfers.
No, that's great.
But I got paired up with him.
Probably took about 8 hours.
Oh, he's about 7, yeah. Brutal.
Scrambles.
Well, we had
just
6
brutal.
people in our. Well, but only 5 were golfing. But it was just still. It was. But we weren't. We didn't wait at any hole. We were just taking our time. But I have a girl for you.
No. Yeah.
Well, she was in my cart, and I like her.
Yeah.
I don't get along with a lot of ladies, but she and I bonded. She's an EMT, and I just think that you should go on a date with her.
Okay. All right. We'll save all that talk for Open Mic Friday, where we indulge such crack
She's
pottery.
a boxer too, and she saves babies.
Wonderful.
She's a hero.
She's a boxer. Well, yeah.
Whip you into shape.
That's what I'm missing. Yeah. Right. All right. Let's talk turkey here this weekend. The Black Conservative Summit is on. Eric Wallace is the president of the Freedom Journal Institute and organizer of the Black Conservative Summit, which starts today and runs through Sunday. It's at Insight Church in Tinley Park. Insight Church in Tinley Park, Black Conservative Summit today through Sunday. And some of the speakers, Representative Misha Maynor, we know her. She's the Georgia State Representative who flipped on her party to support school choice. Great. And one Senator Tim Scott.
Oh, who just got married. I'm looking at his wedding photos now.
Yeah.
He got married August 3rd, so congratulations to him.
And Corey Brooks and many others. We'll hear
Todd Ricketts is going to be there.
Is he black? Is he identified as black now, or Todd?
You can have white people speak.
Oh, you can?
Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
This is 2024.
I got you. Okay, now I know.
White people can go to Howard, yes.
Well, yeah, speaking of, well, no, let's get here with Eric Wallace before we go off on another tangent.
Before we start hooking you up on dates.
Eric Wallace, thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan, Amy, pleasure to be here.
All right, give us. I mean, we've a little preview. We've done a terrible job, so you'll do a better one. Why don't you tell us what's going on this weekend in Tinley Park, and the angle of incidents here with the November 5th date looming.
Well, see the issue. So the theme of the conference is Black America at a Crossroads: cultural Marxism versus a biblical worldview. And what has bothered me is to watch how the black church is just running behind these cultural Marxists as if there's no difference in what they preach on Sunday or what these guys are pontificating. It drives me crazy. And so we decided we need to talk about this. We need to talk about what cultural Marxism is. We need to talk what it means to have a biblical worldview. I went off on a video that I did not too long ago after finding out about the Black Church PAC, which was, part of their thing was, our values, our vote, and our voice. And I'm talking about what values does the far left have that the church is actually in agreement with. And then they've got these issues. Let me tell you this real quick. Their issues were that they agree on mass incarceration, voter suppression, and gun violence. Really? So I don't get it. Voter suppression, that's just voter IDs, right? And most black people want people to have an ID to vote. They think you should have an ID. When it comes to gun violence, that's about taking away people's guns. And most black people are pro-Second Amendment. And then the last one, mass incarceration, they want people to go to jail who are committing crimes in their community. What they're not dealing with is why there's so much crime and why there are people running around carrying guns and hijacking people. And what they should be talking about, I'm sorry, this is the last one, because I'm passionate about this. Our black kids cannot read or do math. So how in the world can you talk about critical race theory or DEI? I mean, there's no way in the world that they can compete because they're dropping out of high school, and if they're staying in high school, they're graduating and not able to read or do math. Okay, I'm done.
No, it's good. And I mean, Kamala Harris, let's go to the Kamala vault here. I want to get your reaction to this exchange. She did an appearance. This is from a while back, but it's relevant because we're having to reintroduce some people to Kamala Harris. She did an event at a barbershop, and she's sitting around a barbershop with a bunch of black men, and she has this exchange with one black gentleman. I want to listen to what he proposes to her, and she is nodding the entire time. Yes, yes, yes. And you'll hear her affirm like this is the right thing to do. Take a listen.
And we're talking about specifically something that happened to black people here in America. So we have to be specifically targeting to help those people. Because we put those people in a position, and everybody knows the history.
Yeah.
Everybody understands the history of America.
That's right.
America, you did this to these people. You should write laws for these people. Don't group us in with everybody, because everybody, it didn't happen to everybody. But let's be fair. We playing from behind the 8 ball. We way back there, 400 years back there. We're not asking y'all to give us nothing. We actually write the law. Those of us who are willing and able to do the work, will do the work.
That's right.
That's what we need.
That's right.
So that's what we need. It's laws specifically for black people because of slavery, essentially, is what he's saying, and Jim Crow.
Okay.
And I mean that includes, but is not limited to reparations. And we've seen that in the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, not with reparations per se, although she previously supported it, which is how she earned the nickname Reparation H from me. And in addition to that, we've seen like even with the legislation where they carve out, subsidies or benefits for black farmers, particular sector, they have to also divide up by race, even if you're similarly situated in terms of what you're doing professionally. And it seems to me that exchange is where the majority of black America is. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I wouldn't. So what I want to say, that's where the black leadership is. I'm not sure how many in the black church actually understand what they're saying when they're going along with that. I think it's ludicrous. I think there's nothing that white people can do today that black people can't do, and that we haven't already done, right? And so to get out there and act as though we need special laws and privileges for black people is turning what Dr. King said on his head. We're supposed to be judged by the content of our character, not by the color of our skin. And it's ludicrous. It's like we're victims. It's like I give the example when I talk today. I'm giving my speech this afternoon, and one of the things I mentioned, it's like the children of Israel in Numbers chapter 14, where they decide they're not going in the promised land because they've been told that there are giants in the land, right? And the land just eats everybody up. Well, I liken that to the black liberals who say there's racism everywhere. It's the number one issue. We can't do anything because all these racists are everywhere trying to stop us from getting ahead. And the laws and stuff of this country weren't written for us. We need socialism. That's the good thing.
Is that how you were raised? I mean, is that the message that you heard when you were a kid?
No, not at all. My parents were. My dad grew up in a poor family, ended up getting his master's degree and became an educator. Both my parents were educators. My mom was a PhD in psychology. And they wouldn't let us get away with any of that stuff. I mean, we had to perform in school. And so I ended up getting a PhD because my mom got one. I felt like, okay, if mom can do it, somebody in the family's got to move forward and carry the tradition of getting a PhD. So,
do you, just on that point, and I mentioned Misha Maynor from Georgia, who's one of your speakers, the state rep who flipped on.
Well, I have to correct that one. She was not able to come the last minute.
Okay,
there was some faux pas, and it wasn't. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna throw somebody under the bus if I say that.
All
but
right.
Anyway,
don't throw people under the bus. Let me do that.
But Katie Gorka will be there.
Okay.
The wife of Sebastian Gorka.
Right.
Talking about Marx's exploitation of black Americans from Scottsboro 8 to Black Lives Matter. So we've got a really good set of folks who are speaking.
Well, the reason I brought up Maynor is just, that issue of school choice, I still don't think it has borne all the fruit that it can, even though we have school choice programs in a supermajority of the states now, not Illinois, of course. And I just wonder if that still is something Yeah, it's been around. It's been recycled. It continues to be debated. But I just think that there needs to be more stick-to-itiveness by conservatives and black conservatives in particular on that issue. I think there's still some upside that we haven't realized.
No, I agree 100%. The problem is that we're fighting an uphill battle against the teachers union. I mean, every major city is pretty much controlled by a teachers union. So, I mean, look at Chicago. I mean, they put their mayor, and all they want is more money, regardless of what their the output is, what the product is.
Right.
Kids can't read, they can't do math, but we need more money. Just throw more money at the problem, and we'll do a much better job. But it hasn't borne any fruit. So yeah, it's time to get the people of Illinois and the black community, Hispanic community, get all these communities together and say, look, enough is enough.
Tim Scott, the keynote speaker, I presume, of the event.
Yes.
And so that people, if they can't make all 3 days, Tim Scott is going to be there Sunday.
Tim Scott. So Sunday is just the baseball game. Todd Ricketts made available for us to go to see the Cubs versus the Yankees.
Oh.
So we're just hanging out and having a good time at Wrigley Field.
Okay, cool.
On Sunday. So Tim Scott is actually speaking tomorrow evening.
Gotcha.
Todd will be there as well. So I'm interviewing Todd Ricketts for like 10 minutes or so. Then I'm interviewing Tim Scott.
Oh, cool.
But people can come. They don't have to pay for the whole thing. We've got it online, $25 just to come. I mean, where can you get a deal like that? You come here, Tim Scott and Todd Ricketts, for $25, and you can still sign up if you do it today to get a ticket to go to the Cubs game.
And you don't have to go to the Cubs game if you can't stomach that, right? Okay, Black Conservative Summit. BlackConservativeSummit.net is where you go to sign up. BlackConservativeSummit.net. It's the Black Conservative Summit. Starts today, runs through tomorrow. Tim Scott keynoting interview with Eric Wallace. That's tomorrow night. It is at Insight Church in Tinley Park. BlackConservativeSummit.net to sign up and attend. Only $25, as you heard from Eric. Eric Wallace, thanks so much for joining us, as always. Appreciate it. Good luck with the summit.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you own or run a business and you listen to AM 560, you might not realize that the conservative